Alright guys, found a video today. It's going to make you sick. So we're going to begin right now.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host for American Truth. Found a video today about drag queens basically stripping for kids. It's disturbing. It's not just because it's kids. It's not because it's gay people or drag queens. It's the fact that people cannot behave appropriately anymore. They have this need to show their ass, and they think that everybody should care because they feel like they are the most important individual in the world. They're unique. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being unique. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are. I'm a gay man myself, but I'm not going to run around public showing my ass to people. You know why? Because that kind of thing gets you arrested. It gets you put on the sex offender list. But somehow, some kind of way, it was okay to do this to teach diversity. Showing your naked, fat ass is not showing or teaching diversity. It's telling kids that it's okay to expose themselves too, because kids do what adults do. There's no denying that. When kids say bad words, where do you think they learn it from? The parents, right? Monkey see, monkey do. So without further ado, let's get into this.
For a group of children at the King County Library in Washington State. And I honestly don't know what's worse. The man dressed in tights showing his butt to a group of kids, or the horrible parents who sat there and let it happen. But apparently this is where our society is at now, and make no mistake, it is coming for you. A drag queen at the King County Library in Washington State was recently filmed partially stripping in front of young kids while wearing a mini skirt and a thong for diversity. Another one at the Minnesota Hennepin County Library read books to children about being neither male nor female, all while wearing a skirt so short that anytime he moved, toddlers could see his women's underwear. Sorry about your eyes, but before you go pour bleach in them, get this. For those of you who've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, letting adult males in leopard print tights and stripper heels dance in front of little kids has apparently become pretty mainstream. Y'all remember when the LGBTQ LMNOP movement had about 17 fewer letters, and it was all about what two consenting adults did in the privacy of their own home? Just leave us alone and let us be who we are. Okay, fine. But see, the problem is anyone with a pair of eyes and more than about 15 brain cells could see it was never going to end there. In fact, that lasted about 2 seconds. We flew off the exit ramp from Gay Marriage Highway onto Freak Show Lane at about 120 miles an hour and took out every mailbox along the way. What started as just leave the adults alone has now turned into we're coming for your kids. It went from you live your life, I'll live mine to agree with me, you bigot, or I'll yank you into court and indoctrinate your preschooler without your consent. So now we've got Gary McGlitter prancing around in fishnet stockings and stripping for children, all for inclusivity. I'm just going to say it because I am so sick of this PC nonsense. What kind of a sick pervert do you have to be to put on a thong and dance in front of children? This goes beyond not knowing what gender you are or thinking you were born in the wrong body. That's a mental health condition in need of psychiatric care. This right here, this is evil. This is grooming kids for pedophiles. Don't believe me? Earlier this year, the Houston Public Library admitted that one of the drag queens they allowed to perform in front of kids was actually a 32-year-old sex offender who was convicted in 2008 of assaulting an 8-year-old boy. Turns out the library hadn't bothered to do a background check on the guy dressed as a woman who was dancing in front of toddlers. And for that matter, what kind of a bat crap crazy, bottom of the barrel parent do you have to be to take your kids there to watch a grown man in lingerie take off his pants and bend over? Who does that? This is insane. Oh, and by the way, it's not just libraries. If you think your kids are safe from this junk just because you don't take them to these events, think again. Back in May, teachers at Central Park School for Children in Durham, North Carolina, invited some local drag queens from the, get this, House of Cocks to talk to 8th graders about being themselves. Elementary school students in New York have held Drag Queen Story Hour for preschoolers to deepen and complicate their ideas about gender. It's time to stop beating around the bush with this nonsense. This isn't live and let live, you do your thing and I'll do mine. And it's certainly not teaching children to express themselves, because you can do that with a box of Crayola markers and a few handfuls of Play-Doh. This is child abuse. This is about brainwashing children with the far left's perverse, hypersexualized, completely godless worldview. Because if they can't convince the adults in the room, they'll target the kids. And they are coming for yours. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.
All right. Well, I don't agree with everything that she said. I agree with 99% of it. First of all, we have this gender bullshit where kids are being taught that there is no gender. I'm here to tell you, if you have a penis, you're a boy. If you go to the doctor and have your penis rid of, you're still a boy. Biologically, you will always be a boy until the day they put you in the crematory. And now you'll be a box of ashes. I don't have a problem with drag queens. I used to be one. Hey, do your thing, but you don't take kids to a Las Vegas strip club and have lunch. Just like you don't take kids, or anybody for that matter, against their will to see something they're not ready to see. It's one thing, I mean, look at Ronald McDonald. For all intents and purposes, he looks like a damn drag queen. But kids love Ronald McDonald. All this is also doing is setting the motion for people to say gay men are perverts and they will molest your children, and that is not all the way true. Okay? There are some out there, but there are black men, Asian men, females, Indians, Mexicans that will do the same thing to your children. And for the record, I am not from Utah. I am not Mormon. I'm not Christian. I am not leftist. I'm not rightist. I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm none of that. What I am is a realist. Nobody wants to see that bullshit. If I want to see drag queens taking off their clothes, I need to go to a drag club. But now you're forcing me to see that on the public street. And if that were you and me, it would be over. We'd be on the sex offender list. And you know it. And so do I. And I've had it. You people need to start behaving correctly. You don't suck face in public. You don't grab your partner's ass in public. Nobody cares that you're in love. It's the sad truth, and I'm sorry if you don't want to hear it from my mouth, but it's true. When I'm sitting there in Denny's and I'm sucking face with my husband, you're going to get up and come over and tell me that I'm disturbing your meal because I'm sucking my man's face. But if I sit there at Denny's and I'm trying to have a meal and I watch you kiss your wife, you're going to tell me, what's the problem? I'm showing my wife affection. The problem is I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you two exchanging spit and diseases and God knows what else. I don't. It's the truth. If you don't like it, I can't help you. Right? But there's a time and a place for everything. And the time and the place is behind closed doors. If you did that shit at your job, you'd be fired. If you walked down the street and did that at any old other time without the protection of the government, you'd be on the sex offender registry. And here's the other thing in closing. People don't always think about their actions or the reactions of those actions when they do what they got to do. You have freedom of speech. You have all of that. But sometimes, my friends, it's time to get a reality check. And it's disgusting. And I'm tired of it. You know, being an Uber driver, I've seen stuff like this, and I don't tolerate it. I'll throw your damn ass out in a heartbeat. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. The video source was from MRC TV. And feel free to subscribe to their channel on Facebook because they do awesome work. They really do. Anyway, that's all I got. Here comes the intro as the outro.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn.